place. She beat the same athlete that Gemma beat. It was a Moroccan who finished second to both of them. She actually beat the Moroccan by a much bigger distance than Gemma did. However, Gemma's time was quicker, so it's really hard to sometimes say, well, you beat him and she beat her and he ran this. Cross country, the thing I always like, it's a great leveller, isn't it? Doesn't matter what you bring to it, it's a great leveller, and Gemma's finding that out. Doesn't matter what sort of shape you come into this, you've still got to turn up and run well on the day.
And you've got to run hard on the day, because the wind clearly blowing in their faces here, and a committed Fionnuala Britton here, really attacking this task, not almost ignoring around her, running in the kind of confident way that we saw Chris Derrick in the men's race, but under pressure a little bit is Gemma Steele, but now settling in again, just settling down, just in the place you'd want to be, just at the back of that leading group.
Yeah, I think the thing about Gemma is that this is the type of course, particularly today with this conditions, the amount of twists and the underfoot conditions, that you really need to stay focused and to stay concentrating all the time. Gemma can sometimes drift up and down in the field, and that doesn't particularly matter when it's a course where she can quickly close back up again. But on this course, with someone like Fionnuala turning the screw there, and probably Fionnuala would have preferred the previous course here with a bit more of a hill in it to make it a little bit tougher and a little bit more testing. But she's taking every advantage of the tougher sections of this course just to keep turning that screw and to just take advantage of the small lapses in concentration, the small times when maybe Gemma isn't taking the best line on the course, and just to try and gain a few metres over those sections.
Well, she's watching them just move away from her now, and as you said, concentration important, because now Brianne Nelson's going past her and she's going through, well, it's wrong to call it a bad patch. I just think from the start, she's maybe not enjoying these conditions here. And coming back to Amelia Goretzka, Brennan, if we think about that race as being a bit of an aberration at the World Cross Country, she certainly has put that behind her and is not worried about this, as we see Sokolenko now looks as though she's going to go past Gemma Steele, and I don't think Gemma is really going to contest the top three places here at the moment. This time when they come down the hill, it will be one lap to go, and at the moment these three pulling away.
And you watch them here come down the hill, get those gaps. The first three are just pulling away from Gemma Steele, who we said is coming under pressure, coming under more pressure. Well, the race is over for Gemma Steele. She's in 6th place, and she's going to do well to stay in 6th place. Amelia Goretzka, well, her coach Mick Woods, who's done a great job over the years coaching British distance runners, particularly cross-country runners, and particularly female cross-country runners. And now Amelia Goretzka, who was so disappointed with her performance at the European Cross-Country Championships, has now decided, right, Gemma's out of it, I've got a chance, I could be the first Briton, but she wants to be more than that. She's an ambitious young lady running against a classic cross-country runner, Fionnuala Britton, and the two of them really racing this one out. But it's great to see the attitude that we've got today from Amelia Goretzka, because this is what we've become accustomed to. The 20-year-old with a great future ahead of her. Can she really kick off her senior event by winning this race today? It's going to be a tough one. She led quite a bit in the race last year, she loves this course. She knows this course extremely well. She probably won't be loving the conditions, either underfoot conditions or the wind. But there's Gemma Steele going through. Gemma's got a lot to do to hold that position, but a confident young lady, Amelia Goretzka, now attacking this one.
It is the final
lap. I can see the places going through there. Nelson in 4th place, still just about in contact. Sokolenko behind her in 5th, and Gemma Steele, a fading Gemma Steele, will be in danger from those forging through on the last lap, which undoubtedly there will be one or two from behind, although the gaps are pretty big. So at the front, the young woman who had such a prolific junior cross-country career. She won the European Championships 4 times as a junior, never outside the top 3, won it on 2 occasions. Move up this year was a disappointing performance for her. The only disappointing run, as Brendan was saying, that we've seen from her at that sort of level. And today she's trying to lead the British team, but they find themselves in 3rd place now in this event. A European team now packing well. Said they were doing well, 3 in the top 5, but America, no worries about the overall title. So who's going to win this one? Gebri, the Spanish athlete, in 3rd place there, behind Fionnuala Britton, the 2-time senior champion at a European level. And the two of them, though, struggling to hang on to a resurgent Amelia Goretzka.
Yeah, I think what Amelia's trying to do here is just gain a little bit of an advantage as she goes into this section of the course with the wind behind her. Before she turns around back into the wind, she's trying to just spread them out a little bit so they're not gaining an advantage from sitting right in behind her. She probably is also aware of the fact that Gebra in particular will have a fast finish, and she will be trying to want to take a little bit of a sting out of that and push on where she's feeling good. And she's learned by now on this course which sections she runs best on. And obviously this is one of the ones where she feels that she can gain an advantage by pushing hard. There's Mick Woods, her coach, just giving her a bit of encouragement there.
He certainly is. He always does. He always has done.
He should have been wearing some spikes, Bren. You see him slipping, sliding, trying to keep up. But he must be really pleased the way she's running.
Well, you know, he said we had to sit down at the end of the year. He said, I'd never seen her run. She finished 12th in the under-23s in the European cross country. He said, I'd never seen her run like that. We've never had the chance to talk to her about her attitude in a race. He said, but we had a frank conversation, and we agreed that the next one was going to be big. And he said she was training well last week so much that he almost started chopping a session in half. He said, but I let her go. She was running so well that I thought, you know, when you're running well, just run well. She's now running so aggressively, and you've got to say, this would be the biggest step in her career to win a senior race at this level, with Gemma Steele, the reigning European champion behind her, with a former European champion Fionnuala Britton behind her. But Fionnuala is not going to give up on this one, and this is a tough part of the course. Into the wind, slippy and slidey underfoot, hard work here, and now Amelia Goreczka has got a chance today. Has she got a winning chance? Well, the next few minutes will tell us.
Do you know, I mean, you might agree, Paula, Brendan is absolutely right to say Fionnuala Britton won't give this up. But one thing I'd like to say as well, I've never seen Amelia, when she goes to the front, to really misjudge it. You know, when she's running well, she knows when to push. She is very, very strong. And I will be absolutely, or surprised won't be the word, if she loses that lead. I think she's going to continue going away. She's getting stuck into the wind. The snow is coming now. It's driving across the fields here and right into the faces of these runners. But Amelia Goreczka looks as though she does this sort of thing. We know she does this sort of thing all the time. And heading at the moment for what looks like to be a brilliant senior victory. And as I said, I've never seen her not deliver when she's had this sort of lead at this stage of a race.
No, she doesn't misjudge races, and I think she has judged this one really well. She will have gauged her effort perfectly, and she will be able to maintain this to the finish. I think the only question is how much Fionnuala has left in the tank to be able to mount a late surge up these small hills and over the brooks. Amelia, as a taller athlete, you might think she'd struggle a little bit more with that, but on the previous 2 laps she's not lost any ground on any of those sections, and I think she's still moving away a little bit from Fionnuala, who has certainly opened up a huge gap there back to Gebra in third.
But Fionnuala Britton's really going after it now. Gebra in third place. 2 Europeans are going to be on the rostrum, but on the top of is it going to be on top of the rostrum for Amelia Goreczka today? Along the side here there was a little bit of shelter, but the snow's coming down now. She's working so hard. Can she hang on to this position? She certainly deserves it. You know, we could be looking at one of Britain's next great athletes. She's already promised so much. As the snow falls, you can almost hear her coach Mick Woods through the first splash glance over her shoulder. The gap's getting a little bit smaller. What kind of finish has Amelia Goreczka got? Has Fionnuala Britton got anything left? Come on, Amelia, this is where you go. This is where you go.
Well, it's funny because you look at the 2 runners, and sometimes the cadence of Fionnuala Britton looks as though she's moving a lot quicker. And you know, Amelia doesn't have a big knee lift for somebody as Paula said, as tall as she is, but she does cover the ground very well. She's strong, a bit like we talked about Garrett Heath, didn't we, earlier on. And you watch her up this hill here, arms keep driving, pushing those knees up. This is the last really tough bit of the course. That's a lead that she's absolutely not going to relinquish, and now she can get to the top of this. They have a little glance behind, and I think she'll be able to start to relax in. Watch yourself underfoot, don't slip and slide, but she should be okay.
Well, I'm nervous here, and I was nervous in 1994 when a young Paula Radcliffe did exactly the same. Burst onto the scene in a senior cross-country championship and showed them the way home. Well, Paula, you wouldn't want to hang that round her neck, but she's done well today, hasn't she?
She has done really well, and I think there'll be a couple of factors in that. Like I said, she will have come off those European Championships disappointed, frustrated, and channeled that frustration into some very productive training over the Christmas and New Year period. And she's also coming back to this race, a race that she's raced well in the past, with not really much pressure on her. She's come in just able to run well. She knew she was going well in training, and just to lay it all out there today. And conditions have been tough, but she's managed them really well, and this will give her a huge lift, I think, going back into training now.
Pre-race favourite was Gemma Steele of Great Britain, but that title is taken away by the youngster, the 20-year-old, who has performed so well here today, winning her first big senior race on the country. Emilia Goretzka is the champion here in Edinburgh in fine style, completely dominant against a former European title winner, Fionnuala Britton of Ireland, who represents Europe, taking second place there. But a dominant run from Emilia Goretzka in very, very good company as well. Gebri will make it second and third for Europe, and they'll may well win the team race. Going to be close between themselves and the USA's Brianne Nelson crosses the line as the first of the American runners, and Sokolenko for Europe. And then the team captain for the USA, Emma Bates, coming across the line there as we see the others coming through. That was Lily Partridge, I think, coming through. And look at Gemma Steele. Well, if we said that Emilia Goretzka had a bad run at the Europeans, this is a bad performance from Gemma Steele. There's no hiding that. There may be reasons for it, but she came here as the favourite. And okay, if you don't win, you might come second or third. But for not to come in the top 10, well, Gemma's going to be really, really disappointed with that. Well, they'll keep coming across the line. And the team race is still up for grabs in this women's race, as we've said earlier. Of course, the United States will undoubtedly confirm themselves as winners of the overall title here. Goretzka winning by 7 seconds. Fionnuala Britton, a good return to form for her in second place. Gebri takes third spot. And then Lily Partridge, the next of the British athletes across the line. And Gemma Steele finishing just outside the top 10, but that looks as though adding them up there, that will be a victory for Europe in the team race in this senior women's event.
Yeah, the blizzard conditions are surely right. I'm trying to protect Emilia Goretzka here from the worst of it. Emilia, delighted but also a bit shocked, I think.
Yeah, completely overwhelmed. I came away from last month from the European Championships pretty heartbroken from the performance I had, so the main thing was to refocus, pick myself up and just battle it on and have a good performance today, and that was the main aim. So it feels absolutely amazing. There's so many fantastic girls out there today, so I was really trying to run smart and clever and just basically fight with all my heart, because when you come away from a disappointing race, that's what you do, you just fight with all your heart. So
Brendan Foster was saying probably the biggest win of your career. Would you agree with that?